I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite
podcast
on the Citadel.
Welcome to Andromenerds, the #1 Mass Effect podcast on the internet.
In the world.
My name is Minius of Minius GC, and with me are my co-hosts, Tucker from Mass Effect Follower.
Hello, everyone.
Tucker's going to be with us for a bit, and then he forgot it was his birthday.
Yeah.
That means you're old.
No, I turned 22, so.
You're not that old at all.
Nah.
I was thinking like...
I'm only like a month young. I'm only like 2 weeks younger than you.
That's the one and only BioFan, by the way.
Oh, hi, guys. Hey, everyone. How's it going? It's BioFan here. What's up? How's it going?
People said they wanted more structure.
What's okay? I should just stop talking now. All right.
It's okay. AbilityDrain has important voiceover work to do, so maybe we'll get some of her at the end of the show. Maybe not. She's very busy. But this is our new launch time. Mondays, noon Pacific, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 at night in the UK, 7 in the morning in the southeast of Australia. Australia, you need to get your time zones together. Holy crap.
Well, actually, I think it was more the U.S. because the eastern half of the world did daylight savings before we did. So now we're like with it, I think.
It's the southern hemisphere, so they do daylight savings.
Oh, they do? Oh, okay.
And then they some of their provinces do it and some of them don't, and so they go from 3 time zones to 5.
Well, you know what? If they show up an hour after it goes up, then I think that's still okay.
It's the internet. It shouldn't really matter.
I just realized that when this comes out, people are going to think that day is my birthday, not what the day we're recording on.
Yeah, I wasn't going to fill him in. I was going to let you deal with it.
So Tucker's birthday was a week ago, just by the by.
November 15th.
If you want some more insight about how the show works, we're going to chat about that because last week's show was a little rough. But let's get going because we have a limited amount of time with Tucker.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
There's a lot of stuff there's too much stuff to cover still, but we're going to go over stuff from N7 Day, 2 specific categories, things that might be worried about the Mass Effect Andromeda now that we have more information, and things that we are way too excited about for Mass Effect Andromeda due to new information. So which direction do you want to go in first?
No squad mate deaths. That kind of worries me.
Okay, I'll let you guys do your thing, and then I'll come in with my thing.
Well, I mean, this is a conversational podcast, which I'm going to start stealing.
So, no squad mate deaths. Again, that worries me.
I feel like Tucker feels strongly on this. I'm going to let him go, and then I'll come in with...
You know what? I agree with you, Tucker. That's every single Mass Effect game we've had squad mate deaths.
Yeah, and it's not just... And he didn't just say no to squad mate deaths. He said no to any...
Crew.
Yeah, crew deaths as well.
That's weird.
And yeah, sure, you could maybe lose a squad mate. Maybe they switch sides or something like that, but...
Go to the dark side.
Still, no squad mate deaths makes me kind of iffy because that's always been in the back of my mind of I need to make sure I do the right choices, that I am picking what I think would work the best so I don't lose a squad mate.
I'm starting to wonder if Mac is not trolling the crap out of us.
Yeah, he probably is.
I'm starting to wonder that because I take his word as gospel, and I think I might get in trouble later on.
I'll jump in now. Okay, so I think... So, 2 possibilities. First of all, that 101 questions thing where that was revealed is very cut and put together. So, I don't know. But it could either be that he meant none in mandatory death. Maybe it's optional. That, and also I doubt he would give away something that big to the plot in that kind of setting, So
it's even if you say I refuse to say, that's kind of like a confirmation, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe he just said no so that you're surprised when the game comes out. I don't know, because that feels to me something that is kind of, I don't know. That seems like a major spoiler. But also, second thing, as a fiction writing major, a plot doesn't necessarily have to have death to be good and to be tragic. There can be, horrible things can still happen to people. It's just that your squad mates and crew may not die. that there can still be horrible things that happen, and you can still have a whole rainbow of emotions that just doesn't involve the character's death. Because you have to consider that this is kind of a reboot of the franchise, and they are 99.9% going to want to push forward because it's probably going to sell a ton of games, and if this one does well, then EA is going to be like, we need another one. This makes a ton of money. Because this is also a company that wants to make money. So...
What?
You didn't know that? Games are put out
crazy.
to make money? You didn't know that?
That's weird. I didn't know that at all.
So they probably want to not have any of the squad mates die, just in case they want to bring them back for the next one, because this is a reboot of the franchise. In Mass Effect 1, you could only have 2 deaths, right?
Rex Rex's possibility, and then
Rex
either
and
Ashley or
and a
Caden.
human.
Ashley or Caden, yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't doing development coverage back then, but I don't know if they knew they were going to turn it into a trilogy, because that was like the first game, so they didn't know too.
They were, but
Well,
They were,
but
okay.
remember, they said that with this, they're going to end it in a way that if there is not a sequel, it's still...
It feels complete.
Yeah.
But you don't need death to necessarily feel complete. Like, plot has so many different things you can do with it.
And I'm not saying it's necessary, but, it's kind of here's a consequence of your choice, that here's something that you cannot take back.
I'm in agreement with Tucker. I would prefer the possibility for squad mates to go down.
I'm gonna reserve judgment because I want to see what they do with it. Because they may do something cool and new and...
And there was something
Interesting.
in Mass Effect 1 where you could just not have Garrus as a squad mate.
Yeah, you could not have Garrus as a squad mate.
It was
and
either
then,
Garrus
meet
or Rex.
Archangel and ME2. Yeah, there's tons of different things they could do. But if they want to move the story forward, think about it. Of all the new people that are going to jump onto Andromeda, they may not have played the original trilogy, and they're picking up Andromeda because it got good reviews. So maybe they're keeping those squad mates safe if they want to bring them back in the future, because then it's like, oh, yay, so-and-so's coming back, you know?
Yeah, I think a lot of the worries that I have, they're really tiny and might not
Me too.
matter that much.
Yeah, to me, like, I find it peculiar, but I'm not worried.
The one thing that I'm somewhat worried about, and this could easily be rectified, is the reasoning behind going to Andromeda. It seems very thin to me.
Well, the reasoning is they're trying to get resources to bring back to the Milky Way.
It's almost as if the Milky Way has no resources.
It's a very afterthought.
no,
of,
I mean-
yeah, we're gonna it's primarily to go explore, and then eventually maybe hey, yo, Milky Way, we found this cool stuff. It's very.
I'm thinking of it in comparison of when people in Europe started exploring out to America.
Yeah, that's neat, except Europe was 100% explored at the time, and the Milky Way is 1% explored at the time. It's very different.
But yeah, I mean, they're exploring it to be able to explore, and not all of Europe was
Yeah, but
explored at the time.
you may find
Well-
cool new things, but at the same time, the Milky Way still has cool new things that haven't been discovered.
Europe was pretty thoroughly explored at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, there's the comparison between less than 1% and pretty much 100%.
This is the Manifest Destiny. What was it?
Sort of. I don't think that ever happened.
Something like that. This is that of space.
The thing about the Milky Way and thing with eventually setting up back and forth is that I don't think we'll ever actually see that, because that's too dependent on the endings. I don't think we'll ever actually see that unless they canon the green ending, because maybe things evolved in billions of years.
I don't think
when
they're
that
going to
actually
canon
happened.
anything.
Yeah, I
they
don't
said
think.
that.
No, they said that the endings there's never going to be a canon ending.
Well, they said there wouldn't be the endings wouldn't affect Andromeda, but they didn't necessarily say about another Mass Effect.
Well, I'm pretty sure at some point someone said there's no canon ending.
So I don't think that we'll ever actually see that Milky Way component. So basically, it's just for exploration and just for basically science.
At the moment, the trip to Andromeda is the most amazing coincidence of all time. They just happen to leave 6 months before the Reapers show up.
Actually, it makes me wonder, because of how much money and resources and people went on there, I wonder now how it would have been different if the Andromeda Initiative never happened, how the fight against the Reapers then would have happened.
Well, there's hundreds of billions, if not trillions, of sentient beings. I don't know if it would have been that big of a difference.
Yeah, because, I don't know, during Mass Effect 3, it felt very we have no other options, versus, oh, these people left to go the Milky Way. So I mean, we're not totally doomed. I mean, like life will go on. You know, there wasn't that.
What I'm hoping for is they said in the the Andromeda Initiative thing that they picked up golden worlds on long range scanners, and maybe there's some really weird stuff going on that it warrants a trip across the galaxy.
Do you guys see that shit over there? Let's go check that out.
You're like, whoa! Like, if let's say the meaning of life could be in Andromeda, just as an example, like people want to know the meaning of life, that might be worth going across the galaxy.
I would love if they're like at the telescope and they're like, "You guys see that shit? Let's go check that out. That looks awesome." Like, go there.
It's a crazy thing, and at the moment, the feeling that I get is the only reason that this trip to Andromeda is happening is to avoid the endings, and I think that could be an issue. It's going to be one of the things. How good is the game going to be? If the game's really good, no one's going to care.
I think the introduction premise may be a little kind of wishy-washy and convenient, but then afterward you'll get so probably sucked into the plot in Andromeda that it'll just be kind of like an afterthought.
One thing I want to touch on here, because a lot of people are bringing this up, they're all worried about how if we're going to Andromeda, why the Reapers don't stop us, because they're in dark space and we're going through dark space. Guys, space is enormous. It's incredibly vast.
There's a lot of
space
to go through.
It'd be like, okay, all the Reapers are hanging out in, let's say they're hanging out in Los Angeles, and you take a car drive somewhere in Europe. They're not going to know about it. It's just not going to happen. And there's something else too. It looks like there's dark space they're hanging out is actually in the opposite end of the Milky Way, off to the side. Based on where Andromeda is and where the Citadel is, I can get into it in a future video, but that should not be an issue that you're worrying about. Out of all the issues,
it's science fiction. They'll make it work.
I mean, they could evenly be spread out around the galaxy and have like a Reaper positioned at strategic spots and still miss you. It's just too much space. All right, BioFan, do you have any worries, or you're like totally on board, like 100%? This game's going to be the best game of all time.
I mean, I'm reserving a lot of judgment till it comes out. I found that like no squad mate thing peculiar, but I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. As like a fiction focused creative writing major, like there's a lot of things they can still do to have those like tragic, shocking moments without anybody dying. So, and also they only said squad mate and crew. We have family, and we know what BioWare likes to do with family.
Wouldn't that count as family?
Do you want to get into that right now?
Family does not count as squad mate or crew.
Well, it could, depending on if they are a squad mate or a crew member. I mean...
Well, your sibling won't be your squad mate. That's confirmed by Game Informer. And I'm pretty sure your dad
Your dad's doing something. You mentioned...
That's a whole other topic. Yeah.
A Deadpool.
Okay, so... commenter Matthew, I'm not even going to try that last name.
Dude, I got this.
Okay. All right, Tucker, you go.
Matthew Zayden.
Okay.
That's probably close to right.
That's probably right. He says, I think you guys should have a Deadpool on the dad, in which you bet on how long the dad survives or on how he dies. And I was like, guys, this sounds like a great thing to do on the podcast. We should totally do it.
Do you want to wait until AbilityDrain's with us?
I don't know. Hey, you know what? It's Tucker's birthday. Let him decide.
I was going to say, just fuck it. Let's do it.
Okay. Tucker, do you want to go first or last?
All right. Well, I think that the dad's going to die either like the first mission after we get to Andromeda.
You only get one option.
Well, the first mission after we get to Andromeda.
Okay.
Because, you know, there might be a mission in the Milky Way, like a tutorial or something like that. I mean, like, after we get to Andromeda, the first mission that we're there, the dad dies.
So, first hour? I'm trying to think of how do we qualify this.
Yeah, like first hour of the main plot. Don't include side quest stuff, because otherwise for Tucker, that's the first 200 hours.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, with a lot of the Mass Effect games, or a lot of BioWare games, is you are forced to do one or two main missions before you can start doing. Yeah, so
I was thinking, so if you skipping side missions, first hour of gameplay should cover it, or first 2 hours? Can we give you a 2 hour window?
Yeah, I would say very, very early on.
So let's give you a 2 hour window just to make it as clear as possible.
2 hour of main plot only.
Yeah.
And which is, birthday boy gets to go first, so.
Booyah. Booyah, bitch.
BioFan, do you want to go?
Okay.
Or do you want me to go? Because that might be more
I think
strategic.
Tucker kind of took the one I wanted, but
He took the best one?
He took the best one, but it's his birthday, whatever. So I'm gonna take.
I'm going to win the crown again.
So I'm gonna kind of guess that our dad probably isn't our squad mate. I'm gonna say because this is a story that is about your rise to being prominent and important. I'm going to say that they're probably gonna do something. So, Minius, that point in Dragon Age Inquisition when the big bad dude shows up and everything changes?
So you're talking like by an act change.
Yeah, by an act change where like there's a serious shift afterwards. So I'm thinking maybe
Yeah, it's where you shift bases or something like that.
like similar to that point, where you ship your like bases and whatnot. I'm thinking probably similar to that maybe. Like you start out kind of low in the ranks, doing kind of grunt work, and then oh my god, dad dies. Now I'm the Pathfinder. Shit's going down. So I'm thinking maybe like,
Here's something we probably ought to fill people in. Why do we think the dad's dying?
Oh, because we're
it's-
becoming the Pathfinder.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
the position goes from our dad to us.
Specifically getting his armor? Like,
Getting his
I mean,
armor and his position going from him to us. Oh, he's totally gonna die.
And even like in the Game Informer article, it says that early in the game, events transpire that result in the role of Pathfinder getting passed to this younger writer. Getting passed, it sounds like, it's like he's inheriting the role, so the dad dies.
I'm going to take the 3 to 5 hour block as when he dies.
okay. 3 to
Minius,
5
are you
hour
going to pick
block.
like at the end of the game?
I am going to pick at the end of the game.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, so here's what I'm
Oh.
going with. This dad death thing. Well, first of all, I think one of you two are right, so I'm going to be wrong. That's what I get for going last. But I'm
Can
going
I
to go
warn
with...
you against going with end of the game? Because
No,
we
you
do get
cannot.
referred to as Pathfinder
No,
in
you,
that gameplay
no, you cannot.
demo.
Here's what I'm going to
Okay.
talk about.
All right.
I think that the dad doesn't die, but has the option of dying at the end. Instead, something else happens. Something weird plot related.
So maybe he goes missing.
There's something sneaking going on. He goes I don't know if he goes missing. I think he gets kicked upstairs into another role or gets crippled or something like that.
Well, I mean, like, you know how the whole ship blows up?
I'm going to go with
in the
crippled.
beginning. Maybe what could happen is the ship blows up, and the first mission's taking place where you're exploring the planet, trying to get all the shit together so you can contact. You contact, and you find out that your dad got blown out too, and you guys don't know where he is. So a good part of Andromeda is you're trying to find him.
You might think he's dead, but he's not dead.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Plot twist.
Actually, that actually sounds a lot more reasonable than him just dying.
So
I don't know. I'm going by BioWare history here. And family members kick the bucket.
if we were going to have
9
a poll
times
on
out of
this and I was going to vote, I would vote for one of your options, but I can't. So
But you
I'm
ran
going
out
with
of
that. And
options.
I also think that's somewhat likely. Definitely not impossible. Certainly more interesting.
I think that's the best choice you could have gone with.
Yeah,
what
fuck it,
you-
dude.
what
I'm
you have
switching. I'm
left.
switching mine. I'm switching mine to
No,
the
that's
theory I
mine.
just thought of.
No.
No, you can't switch yours. You picked it. You're locked in. You're confirmed. This is how a Deadpool works,
damn
Tucker.
it.
You don't get to change.
Damn it.
It's like the one like BioFan wanting to change the release date once we get a release date.
Yeah.
So anyway, crown is on the line. Another crown bet in the air.
And then we'll ask AbilityDrain next week when she comes back.
And then she can take everything else. Or Tucker's crazy theory.
I don't know. She may have her own theory. You never know.
How about things that you're now really excited for Mass Effect Andromeda? New information.
The open world exploringness of it. How it's this entire new planet we've never been on. We're going to see a bunch of shit we've never seen. Plants, objects, building structure. I mean, they even said that everything's going to seem more organic. Instead of technological, it's going to seem organic. So seeing all of that as we openly explore the world.
Open worldness.
Oh, yeah.
I could see that working really well.
Oh, it's going to be
It
awesome.
could also not work well, but I could see that working really well. I'm going to go with something lame. I like the way the multiplayer looks like it's going to shake out. I like the impact of multiplayer in the game.
Have they shown anything?
They haven't shown
Yeah,
anything.
they've shown
but
the
Game Informer guys played it.
And also
article
they
has a
showed
good
some
chunk.
pictures that kind of looked like it could be on multiplayer maps. I don't know. It was kind of a vague.
Mainly the interest, and this is something that isn't really new. It's something that was really easy to speculate with because BioWare Montreal is playing a huge role in making this game. And for those of you who don't know, BioWare Montreal played an enormous role in making Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, including the combat additions that made that terrific. And we're going to have more of that as far as the game is concerned. It plays a lot more like Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And whether you like that or not, the gameplay, specifically combat-wise, was really, really, really good. And that impacting the game in that way has me excited. Of course, this is not something that's completely brand new, but it is confirmed.
They said it would be similar to single-player combat, kind of, in
Well,
Andromeda.
it's more of along the lines of the way... there's less pausing in the combat. It's more of having, hotkeys, or in the case for a lot of people on the console, buttons that just do abilities, as opposed to pausing every 6-7 seconds and going on your wheel and picking out an ability.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker was really excited a couple seconds ago.
Yeah, Tucker
man. So in the Game Informer thing, he said that one of the questions were, could you ever see co-op in Mass Effect? And Mac Walter said yeah.
I don't know if that's for this game though. It could easily be for DLC.
I know, but I made a video on that and I got a lot of hate for it, which is understandable.
Really?
Oh yeah, I got a shit ton of hate for that video. I mean, it's completely understandable that people are iffy about co-op in such a huge RPG game, something it's one that's also very based on your experience. It's very understandable. But that's a possibility. I like it.
He said he could see it. That doesn't mean it's happening. Just saying.
Yeah.
BioFan, are you okay with the hair so far?
I mean, we've only... Okay, here's the thing.
I was just going to wait. Like, what could BioFan get really excited about? Hair.
Okay, here's
All right,
the
I'm
thing.
going to ask a hair-related question.
Male writer's hair, awesome. Female writer's hair, ponytail, cool. The other two, those two characters we saw kind of hugging, and the woman was injured and whatnot in the trailer, buzz cuts under their helmets. I was a little bit concerned. Don't know if that's just because they had those helmets on and they were, I don't know, something because I don't know if that glass is supposed to be see-through or if they did it especially for the trailer, so when they puts it on they go buzz cut, but you don't see that in the game when they have helmets on or something.
It may have been the angle and lighting and whatnot.
Something, yeah. They looked like they had buzz cuts in the trailer. That's why I was a little concerned. I'm hoping that it's more online with what male and female writer have right now.
We'll put that in the category of things you're concerned about.
Oh, I'm always concerned about it.
What about excited about, though?
Excited about? I would say replayability, because there are more romance options than previously in Mass Effect, and they're more in each major character is more in depth. So I guess the romances are probably also pretty in depth. And then also that class system redesign to where you can pick and swap skills and then mess around and redo your skills all the time, or you can specialize if you want to, kind of stuff. That sounds awesome. You can do different kinds of combat all the time, and you can build different characters. It just sounds like I'll be playing this 20 badillion times. So
they're also going to have New Game Plus.
I'm curious to see how that works.
There's also New Game Plus. I don't know how it works.
I would honestly prefer for the game to continue after you finish the main plot line. And it doesn't sound like that's going to happen, so there's going to be some kind of shift. But
I mean, with ME2, isn't there a
Mass
New
Effect
Game
2
Plus?
is the only thing that allows you to continue the game after the plot's concerned. You beat
Mass Effect 3,
1,
you can continue the game after.
No,
but
you can go back in time.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking
ME2
about Arkham Knight or the Arkham series, about how you complete the main mission and there's all these side quests you can still run around and do and whatnot.
But you can also activate New Game Plus.
Yeah, but if you're at the menu, it says, "Hey, do you want to restart the game with New Game Plus?" It's an option right here for you if you want.
Dragon Age Inquisition technically had a little bit of New Game Plus, in the final patch, and you got to play once everything was done still. But I don't know.
I'll probably screw around a great deal with New Game Plus.
I probably will too. I don't know how they'll do it, but I will.
Oh yeah.
All right. So, by the way, we love getting artwork.
Yes.
Artwork, really, really
fan,
like it.
Person.
Yes.
It's awesome.
I sent the picture. You guys have already seen it. We're gonna put it on the screen now. It's a comic by Bobito. I think I got that right.
I mean,
And it's
there's
got
only
us
so
in
many ways you can get it wrong.
I love it so much. It's so.
So based on where we're sitting, it looks like Tucker isn't driving, but I want to picture Tucker driving. This is how we got in this spot.
I think it's
No,
ability
you
drain
kidding? If I was driving, I would have done the math correctly. We would have made it.
I don't believe
There's the
that.
math, Tucker.
I don't believe that at
The
all.
velocity of 243.84 and an angle of 113.6458.
If Ability Drain was here, we could totally act this out. It'd be great. Though technically, this is based on a conversation we had previously.
Is it? I don't
Yeah.
remember saying the velocity.
You don't
and
remember
angle of-
being like, "Oh yeah, we like totally climbed a mountain," and then Ability Drain's like, "We have not."
Oh,
You
right.
don't remember that?
I like how Ability Drain's commentary is accurate just because she's swearing. You're like, yeah, I can see her saying that. Yeah.
They have great attention to detail. My hair looks exactly like that upside
Yeah,
down.
my hair looks exactly like that too. Look at that. My character's done perfectly.
I have a weird hump thing behind my neck, which is why I don't want to go on camera. That's not actually true. You're going to see me soon. By the way, Bobito is also the guy behind the Space Bear initiative, which I just put in the comment section.
Dude's awesome. Whoa, voice crack. Holy, second puberty.
Awesome.
Dude is awesome.
You see the Space Bear initiative we're putting on the screen now?
Oh, yeah. Dude's clever as hell.
Yeah, he said. By the way, and I'm assuming he's a he because of the Bob thing. It may not be a he. There's going to be more of these coming, apparently, which sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I encouraged it. I was like, "Bring it on! I love these."
So if you're wondering what the hell this
love it.
Space Bear Initiative is, it's important that we talk about the Space Bear Initiative. Hashtag Space
really?
Bear Initiative. It's very important.
What is this Space Bear Initiative, Minius?
There's
for all
some
those new people?
tweets, some Photoshop job that Zaznika, and I think that's as close as I'm going to get. She's going to have to tell me how close I was. About space bears in space. Here's the first tweet that came out. I think, BioFan, you may or may not have seen this. I don't think Tucker's seen this. It happened on N7 Day, so things
There was a
got buried.
lot that went down on N7 Day.
So you guys check out the first image.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bear with an Omni tool.
How about the bear that's ready to go? Polar bear. With the hashtag Space Bear Initiative.
For a second, I thought it was like wearing one of those Russian military hat things.
That's the Garrus eye
Eyepiece.
patch.
Yeah, that's Garrus,
Unfortunately-
but from the small picture that shows up in Skype, I thought it was like wearing one of the Russian hat things.
Oh, yeah. Here's my favorite one though, and I've showed this one to BioFan like 3 or 4 times.
Yes,
That
I've
like
seen
biotic
that.
bear ready to biotic some shit up. Yep.
Hashtag Space Bear Initiative.
Hashtag Space Bear Initiative.
Hashtag Space Bear Initiative.
There we go. We're on board. I'm really looking forward to meeting a developer face to face and then bringing that up and seeing their face. Like they're like, what is this guy doing? Like, why does he care
Oh, yeah.
about this thing?
From what I've heard, they like it. They find from what I've seen on Twitter.
I need some official support, like on camera.
Oh, okay. You need on-camera physical support. Okay, cool.
I'm hoping for that down in Los Angeles, which I'll be going next week. Next week, I guess. This is coming
It's
out
not.
on,
No, it's not next week. It's like 2.5 weeks from now, Minius.
Yeah, except this is coming out on Monday,
Oh, from when
the
this
21st,
airs.
so there'll be one more
okay,
show.
got you.
and then I'll be taking off. More information on that in the next show.
How about the Nomad being at the end of that new PlayStation
Sunday
trailer?
morning, I'm watching American football and thinking like, oh, this is my day off. And this commercial comes on with this really weird, the PlayStation has weird commercials, but there's like the Nomad Mako in the background. I'm like, oh my God, I got to work today. I was like, I was going to watch football and suddenly there's Mass Effect stuff on my television. How weird is that? Weird in the fact that obviously we mentioned this on the show before. Mass Effect, BioWare specifically, huge connection with Xbox over the years. But this game specifically, at the very least, is going to have promotional material with Mass Effect Andromeda. In fact, Tucker pointed this out before the show. The PS4 Pro, on the back of the box for that, there is a Mass Effect Andromeda image. So the marketing campaign full out. What do you guys think of that?
So I
What if
think
they're-
that. Do you
I was
want
going to say how they're switching Bro Rider and Sister Rider back and forth. What if they're doing that with Xbox and PlayStation? Double
I
dipping.
seriously doubt that.
Okay, so
Yeah,
here's
no, they're
what I
not doing
think's
that.
going on. So the thing is, The PS4 Pro is out now, isn't it? I'm not.
Yes,
PlayStation
it came out
okay.
the 13th.
Okay, so the PS4
2 days
Pro
ago.
is out now, and it will be the most visually most visually high-tech experience for Mass Effect Andromeda, versus the Scorpio won't be out for a good while. So they're probably kind of buddying up with Sony for PlayStation 4 Pro because it is going to be the highest end experience for Mass Effect Andromeda, versus the Xbox One S is only going to have like a little bit more color depth or something compared to your regular Xbox One, and the Scorpio is not going to be out for a while. So I think that's why they're kind of putting in Andromeda into the marketing campaign, because a lot of people are upgrading their console, and when you're upgrading your console, you got to think about what games you want to get for it eventually. So that's probably why they're buddying up with the PS4 Pro people. If Scorpio was coming out any time before Andromeda, you wouldn't see any of this.
I disagree. I believe Sony gave EA money. I believe that's exactly what happened.
Well, it's also, I don't know if you guys noticed, but Call of Duty jumped from Microsoft to Sony.
Which Sony also gave Activision money.
So Sony's playing
That's
dirty,
usually,
huh?
That's usually how this... Well, I mean, it's not like Xbox never did that. And that's generally how this
True.
stuff works. They're like, okay, we want to buddy up to you. Can you give us exclusive content? Can you give us a marketing deal? Here's money. And I think we mentioned on the show earlier, companies like to make money. Didn't we? We brought that up, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah, what? So that's what I'm thinking. The best case scenario in this case, and I think we'll get more soon. I'm really hoping this is just a co-marketing deal, which happens all the time. You'll see it, like, for instance, there's a commercial for a game, and it's online. At the end, there'll be like a little tag that's 2 seconds that'll pop up and say Xbox or PlayStation. And what that means pretty much is absolutely nothing. The versions are exactly the same, and that's the best case scenario. But there could be some exclusive content coming, and we'll have to keep our eyes on that.
I'm hoping for still to have like an EA access kind of thing.
I don't
'Cause that
think-
is through EA itself, isn't it?
I don't think you'll see that. Not with the Xbox. Not early
Well,
access.
Well, I mean, we
Is it-
saw it with Inquisition.
Yeah,
mean,
but they're lined up with PlayStation already. If they're getting money from PlayStation,
Well,
they're not giving it to Xbox early. There's no way.
So is Battlefront. I mean, Battlefront was very heavily promoted on the Sony
thought it was
on the
more
PlayStation,
Xbox.
but it came out a week early on Xbox if you had EA access.
I thought it was more aligned with Xbox because
Well, you don't get the whole game a week early. You get like basically Tucker. You haven't gone out of the demo version of Dragon Age Inquisition. Let's put it that way.
here's something to keep your eyes on. There will be a press conference in a couple weeks down in Anaheim that I'll be going to. That is going to be the Sony press conference at their show, and we may
Minius
get more
is
information
on the
this.
beat, man. Boots
Yeah,
on
he
the
is.
ground, on location.
So I
What
had
is
I had
up?
a weird fantasy that Mass Effect Andromeda was going to be down there while I got the tickets. Really, I'm going because I love that show last year, and that Mass Effect Andromeda might actually be there. Not physically in a booth, but they might have something in the press conference, which kind of blows my mind. Really
and they'll
blows my
announce
mind.
it like the day before, because that's how they usually do it.
I expect they won't announce it at all. They'll just drop it on you.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep your eyes out. Again, I've been a Sony guy because of Metal Gear Solid. I do not want Sony to have any exclusive content with Mass Effect Andromeda. I hate exclusive content. I even like exclusives. There are so many good games on the Xbox and on the Sony that the other side could not play, and that sucks.
That would be terrible,
that sucks.
especially because of that would be very difficult for us with our channels.
Do you guys play Destiny at all?
No.
Used to.
Yeah. Do you see the deal that Sony had with Destiny?
What
where there's
happened?
literally like year-long like strikes and stuff
Yeah, a
that you couldn't
year-long
do?
DLC before the other console got it.
That's bonkers.
With Dragon Age Inquisition, with the Jaws of Hakon DLC, the first DLC, Xbox got it for a whole entire month before PlayStation got it.
I hate a month. A year is ridiculous.
A year is just outright.
Like this is
Horrible.
what we want to avoid. I would hate it if everybody couldn't play the game at the same time. I would hate it. It would suck. Just gonna say that. It's been said. All right, Tucker has to leave somewhat early, so we should get some questions in while he's here.
I was actually about to bring up a question that someone was going to ask, which
I'm going to
was kind
cut
of
you
on
off.
the topic.
I'm going to cut you off right here. Is there anything I should know?
You have unread messages at your private terminal.
All right, well, that's cool. Anywho,
Hey, Kelly, how's it going?
Jordan
Wait,
Alexowicz
did you see on the show
Gardner,
last week, Ability? I was like, is there anything I should know? And everyone's like, about what? She doesn't watch the show.
That was awesome. So here we go. Here's a question that we've kind of talked about before a bit, but Jordan Alexowicz Gardner says, after Andromeda comes out, do you guys have any plans to play the multiplayer together on your channels?
Oh, hell yeah.
They're not. We've all said that. As far as like downright plans, not locked in, but that's going to happen. I think
It's going to happen.
plans.
Definitely.
We'll
make it work.
right here.
I mean, I know that we have plans for when the beta comes out.
We might all have to play it on the PC because Minius doesn't have an Xbox. And
I'll
I
have an
think
Xbox by
AbilityDrain
then.
just plays on PC, but we can all
Yeah.
just play it on PC.
No, I'll have an Xbox by then. That's.
Oh, you
for
will?
sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think AbilityDrain has an Xbox, but whatever.
Yeah, that's a very quick question. We will definitely be playing some multiplayer. Not just with that, we'll also play with you guys as well. We might have
Community
depending on
dates.
how the multiplayer works, or depending on how multiplayer
Hey,
works, we might
Tucker,
go.
you may not want to tell them that because I don't have time to play games with other people.
Oh well, I'll play with you guys because I love
Yeah,
it.
we're gonna ditch BioFan, and Tucker and I are gonna play with you. That's not dirty
All
at all.
right, Daniela Rodriguez, who is from Brazil, asks, what version of Mass Effect Andromeda are you going to get or plan on getting?
You mean collector's edition wise?
Like the standard, deluxe, or super deluxe?
I'm probably
Or
gonna
collectors.
get all three.
All three?
Well, I'm getting
Why?
it on three different three different platforms, so might as well just get all three.
I don't know,
It's
but,
not like
like-
I have a Mass Effect channel or anything, and this isn't fit. I mean,
Like, through what we do, sometimes we get copies.
Yeah, well,
or review copies
yeah.
or something. So I'll
BioFan
probably
and
end up
AbilityDrain
with
got
several.
T-shirts because they're cool, and Tucker and I haven't been going long enough to get T-shirts, which is why we're not
Yeah.
giving T-shirts away. So we're not being jerks.
Which I'll bring up later in the podcast about that. Side note, sidebar, pin in it, whatnot.
Reverse segue.
Mikala RK says, have any of you noticed that BioWare sometimes hides things in plain sight? I noticed if you scroll down on the Mass Effect site, you're shown a black male touching a screen to make a model of a shuttle bigger. Below, you can see in the Refer a New Recruit area the same man running on what appears to be Earth with the Rider twins. Scrolling down, we see the same trio in Mass Effect Andromeda armor. If you take a look at the individual on the right, it is Liam with his dad pants armor, and what we can only assume is male Rider in the front with cis Rider on his other side. Do you think this guy is Liam?
So I just want to kind of bring this up in the fact that it's not confirmed that those people are related to those other people, because the only thing they have in common is their skin tone and/or gender. So I don't think that
We're making
we should-
jumps right there. I don't know if that's necessarily hiding it. She said hiding in plain sight, though, right?
That's quite a jump. In terms of hiding things in plain sight, oh, hell yeah. I do. I call them hidden gems analyses because there's tons of shit hidden right there in front of you.
I mean, I think that is Liam, because in the Game Informer on his AMA on Reddit, he said that while he was at BioWare, he saw a model for a black character.
So the only thing they have in
No.
common is their gender and their race, Tucker. I don't think that's enough
Yeah,
to bring it into...
Although even if you freeze frame the trailer when Bro Rider has the crazy neon handcuffs on, the guy next to him looks like he might be of African descent. I was gonna say African American, but that can't be confirmed at all.
I even have, in the most recent video I put up, the 7 questions we still have after N7 Day, in that I talk about how that is possibly Liam.
I mean, it could be,
I think it
but
is, but-
technically speaking, there are probably several males with a dark skin tone in this game, and also that may just be a marketing promotional thingamajig.
Yeah, I think he also
So-
said that they didn't look quite the same. That marketing
Well, we
proposal
haven't
and
seen
the thing he
Liam's.
saw.
We
No,
haven't
this
for
is from
sure seen Liam.
this is from the Game Informer guy, Joe. He said they didn't look alike.
Oh, okay.
And he's seen the game more than we have.
Yeah, he
I
has.
hope. I hope all the stuff he's putting out there isn't just pulling it out of his whatever.
This one is a very fun question. And David Barker asks, what do you think of the announced ability to gain melee weapons in the new game? What melee weapons would you most likely to use?
Hammer time!
So you think like the hammers? Kind of
Hammer
like in,
time!
Hammer,
what the Krogan Battle Masters use in Halo 3 multiplayer?
Halo 3 multiplayer?
Hammer time and Mass Effect!
Do you like Halo?
Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Trust me, if it was Halo, I would have said Gravity Hammer.
I think melee weapons are ridiculously awesome.
Oh, I'm excited about that.
I think they're ridiculously awesome. That was one of my favorite parts about the multiplayer is how they added melee stuff. So they're ridiculously awesome. That would be the answer to that.
Hammer time!
Like ridiculous. Like I'm trying not to get way too excited about it. That's kind of one of the things that I brought up about the influence of Mass Effect 3 multiplayer on the combat in this game. Melee weapons, huge part of that. Ridiculously excited. I'm going to hit things in the face.
Oh, yeah. And I hope it's not like you only use it in a short animation. Like you can use it as one of your weapons.
Like there might be like a melee slot. You know how like you had like a pistol slot and a shotgun slot?
So something like that would be awesome.
Like there's a melee weapon slot or something.
And it also makes me wonder if stealth is more a part of the game. Because if you can have a melee weapon and you can stealth and sneak up on people and get them.
You like the Shadow Strike?
Well, the class system is built to where you can mix and match things, so there's probably stealthier abilities.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if now, like there
they,
may be
they
more of
still
a focus on
can be
stealth
like
rather than you just have to run and gun.
Infiltrator specialization, you just have to get far enough on a tree.
I feel like leaving both your audios running while you get extremely complex sentences
at
the same time.
All right. The last question that we can kind of go over, I got a few others, but time is of the essence. Dave Brinkus simply asks, how many hours do you think the campaign will be?
Including or not including the side quests that probably will be in there?
Yeah,
give a number for both. I would say 15 hours for main campaign and then 40...
What kind of game are you playing? That sounds boring as hell.
40 to 50 for side quests.
You don't like a 15-hour main campaign? That's solid.
That's like nothing. Inquisitions was longer than 15 hours.
took too long because you were walking all over the place.
Yeah, so I'm going to go 15 hours for
main story.
15 hours for main mission and 40 to 50 for side quests.
That sounds like a short game.
Are you sure the main content in Dragon Age Inquisition was
Here, I'm
more
gonna look
than
up
15 hours?
I
don't think it was.
Answer this question.
I mean, just jumping from mission to mission, so you didn't have to do all the PowerPoints and stuff in between. You go main story mission, main story mission.
Okay, that's what you
15
mean.
hours.
Okay, then yeah. 15 hours might be. If you just do like the cutscene parts, then yeah. Okay, that sounds all right.
I mean, like, you're not screwing around with any of the other stuff. I think Tucker's pretty close. I'll go 20, 40. But basically in that range.
I'll go 100.
100 for like 100%?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like if you do a lot of side quests and stuff, because there's optional planets.
I hope it's 60 plus. So I hope you're right.
I hope it's rewarding and not mandatory though.
I'm gonna get into this in a future video, but I think it's fun. If I can spend 400 hours in a multiplayer, I can do all of that easy. Easy.
Oh yeah, it's.
Do we have more questions?
We have a few more questions, but
you gotta go.
They would take a while.
Okay.
Do you want to leave us with one, maybe?
Tucker's gonna sign off.
Oh, Tucker's gonna sign off.
Yep,
okay.
I am going to go.
Okay.
All right, bye everyone.
Adios.
All right. Now that Tucker guy's gone, we can talk all kinds of crap about him.
We can talk total shit about him, and he won't even know because he doesn't listen to the podcast.
The comment sections are getting great. There are people who are like mad at us for yelling at him, and there are people who love it. They like really love it, and they're like, "You guys." I think
the people that are mad at us are the people that are new to the podcast.
I mean, I'm trying really hard to be as as neutral as possible. You do jump on them right away, because his ideas are
That's
crazy.
because
and
there's
you
a
wanna,
lot of things in Inquisition that Bioware's done with Frostbite that he doesn't know about because he hasn't left the hinterlands.
Is that the number one reason why you can get frustrated with Tucker? Is it about the hinterlands? Just say yes.
Usually
if
it's
not true.
about Inquisition and how he hasn't played it, so he won't know things. Like, for example, when he was like, oh, I think we'll scan things and then maybe get, like, I don't know, things we can craft things with. And then I'm like, well, Tucker, if you look at Inquisition, like things like that.
Yeah,
Which later turned out to be exactly what it is.
some of you have pointed this out, and you're 100% true. Tucker is totally trolling us when he starts doing that.
He is very much trolling us.
So this is part of the thing. So if you're like, oh, poor Tucker, he gets yelled at, he's kind of enjoying it.
He brings it on himself.
And he's like, when he brings up the stupid color argument and it goes on too long, yeah, he's enjoying that. He's enjoying that quite a bit.
Oh, yeah, let's just talk about the trailer. Let's do it.
I'm going to put water on that, and you can talk about it as much as you want. I think the trailer was the least interesting thing that happened on N7 Day.
I'll agree. I think it was the least interesting
And
thing that
I
happened
could see
on-
that coming, but it's a
I mean,
lot
it was
of
still
short
interesting,
little...
but out of everything else, it was the most insignificant part of N7 Day.
Even
I just put out my trailer analysis of that trailer, and I'm really known for, I call them hidden gems trailer analyses, because I'm like eagle vision and go frame by frame and shit, and it's really in depth and really, really in depth, and just it's 15 minutes long out of this minute and a half trailer. So I just a good 75% of that video is basically news coverage, because 75% of that trailer is talked about, or deep things that are in that trailer are talked about in the Game Informer coverage. The Game Informer coverage was and still is the most significant news or anything about Mass Effect Andromeda ever.
I even found the video they posted on the website with Jen Garson. I found that more interesting than the trailer.
Yeah, the Jen Garson video told us more than the trailer did.
I mean, the trailer's pretty and stuff, but I think we've seen pretty trailers before, and
yeah,
only
we've seen
pretty
enough
trailers.
pretty trailers and not enough kind of it was too kind of subjective-y almost.
I mean, that Jen Garson thing was fascinating as far as learning plot points. And at this
Also,
point,
it's GN, not Jen.
Are you sure it's not Jen?
It's GN. I've asked. Anyway. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I liked the trailer, but again, it was not...
Oh, it was fun to watch.
I don't know. I mean, there was a lot of cool stuff in it, but at the same time, 75% of that cool stuff was clarified by Game Informer, so there wasn't a lot of speculation up in there.
Yeah, it was cool. It just there was other things that were cooler.
Yeah.
Everything else was cooler. If you were going to rank them on a scale.
Oh yeah, on a cool scale, yeah, it'd be kind of
Although
at the bottom.
it'd be interesting to see if people were not really paying attention to Mass Effect Andromeda, maybe that was their favorite part, and the other stuff was just candy.
I know a lot of people were actually okay. So here's what I personally saw from my feeds and whatnots, is that people were disappointed with the trailer, but it didn't end up being that big of a ruckus because there was a ton of other stuff out there for them to try and go through, though most people haven't gone through it all and are like, hey, BioFan, help us, please.
I don't blame them. Sorry.
Yeah. I don't blame them either.
We covered that last show.
Yeah. It was crazy. But I mean, I liked the trailer. What I don't like from, and a few of you liked that kind of inside detail. This is something new, not from last show. I don't like it when they do those very brief pieces of footage. In the beginning there was those flashes. Yeah, for a trailer that's cool, but when you have to cover it and you have to go through it and have to use it in a video, it's a pain.
Yeah, I wasn't going to get into that, but that is more difficult.
It is more difficult. I mean, I enjoyed it as who they're trying to market at, which is just people that are watching it as a viewer and not someone that's actually going to have to talk about, discuss it, dive into it, piece apart, whatnot. It was dramatic, but at the same time, I like those kind of longer sequences.
They need to do these things and not give a crap about us. They got to market their game in the way they need.
Yeah,
to market
I mean,
their
they got to
game.
market their game. I'm
just
telling people what it's like for me because some people
it's
found
frustrating
that interesting last time.
But whatever, it's cool.
But I still, when it's a trailer, I still love it anyway. It's just something that's kind of, people wanted to know what it was like behind the scenes, so I decided to bring that up.
We can get into that right now. We talked last week's show was split into two parts for many reasons. And the way that I edited it together, splitting it where I did it chronologically. So we complained for like 45 minutes. And that was the first half, and that was not what you wanted to hear.
And that's not what people
which is
wanted
totally
to
understand.
hear.
After I did it, I'm like, this probably isn't going to work quite right.
Yeah, there's
but
like nothing in here about in 7 days. It's just us giving behind the scenes stuff.
the problem there, and these are either excuses or reasons depending on your outlook. I figure that you guys like some behind the scenes stuff, and from now on we will save that till the end of the show. Hey, and this is the end of the show, so it's perfect. There's a lot of steps that we need to go through to put these things out on time. And we had a truncated day, and I wanted to watch election coverage. So I had too short a time to get it to BioFan. How long does it take you to render these videos? Just the rendering.
Just the rendering is usually about 8 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So
Because
that's
it's
like
an hour-long video, so it takes about 8 hours to render it. Like, my 15-minute trailer analysis took about, like, an hour.
So the point is, though, is that there's so many steps to get this out and the way we get this out. Let's say we all were in the same building and we could go there and sit down at a table with microphones and talk to each other. We could crank this thing out really quick, like an audio version that day, easily.
But it would still take 8 hours to render.
Well, I'm just saying from that standpoint, but
Yeah.
the audio that you're hearing right now, this is so much cleaner than the actual conversation is.
Oh, God, yeah.
Our conversations are a mess.
We like talk over each other like this and stuff, and then like but you can't hear anybody. And whatever.
It sounds like we have the best chemistry ever. We do not. I split up the audio so people who are talking at the exact same time, it sounds like they're talking individually and responding at the right time. It's a very difficult editing process. I think it sounds really good, which is why I do it.
On average, how much of Tucker do you think you cut out per episode normally?
Not as much as you think.
Really?
Like not much at all. I don't like to cut out stuff. Even when
Okay.
we're talking like behind this stuff. I like there's a podcast that I'm kind of modeling this one after. Some of you will know it right away. It's pretty much classic podcast beyond IGN style with Greg Miller, Colin Moriarty. Oh my goodness. Colin Moriarty and Ryan Clements, one of my favorite podcasts of all time. It's a conversational podcast. Kind of like it to go like that. So if you're looking for more structure, that's neat. But we're going to go where the conversation goes, I think, because that's more interesting to me. But yeah, we'll have more structure, more comments. That was a unique show at a unique time. So shows will be more like this one.
Going back to the trailer, what do you think was the most interesting thing in the trailer for you on the N7-day trailer?
And the robot dragon.
The robot dragon. Okay.
Yeah.
For me, and I only found this out because I go in eagle eyes, frame by frame and whatnot. So you know that one planet that's in the trailer? That like dark planet.
There's many planets, but you're talking about the one with rocks that go all over the place?
There's only the one that's actually like you see the full planet in space.
You just broke down this trailer hardcore. I did not
Oh, yeah.
just break down this trailer hardcore, so I probably don't know every frame like you do.
So there's that dark planet that's in there, and they show it a whole lot of times in the trailer. Not once, not twice, not 3 times. Oh no, they show it 4 times.
Whoa!
4 times. 4 times.
It's a blowout.
So obviously it's super important. And then if you pay attention to the flashes and then other shit, so Liam gets thrown out of some kind of something or whatnot window. It's probably like a little what was that thing that used to take us on missions?
We probably shouldn't break the trailer down here because you got a video up on it that does it just fine.
Okay, well I was just gonna bring up one thing that I thought was interesting.
Okay, I thought
There's
you were
more
gonna.
in there.
I thought you were gonna get into the whole thing. I'm like, oh, this isn't gonna work.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll do a speed version. I think they're falling onto what it's called, Habitat 7, and that planet is shown as Habitat 7. I think that's why they show it like 4 times. It's 'cause
What
it's
is Habitat 7 for those of you who
Habitat
aren't-
7 is covered in the Game Informer coverage, which there's too much of. There's so much.
It's a planet.
It's a planet. It's all the different arcs kind of have their assigned like, hey, go check this place out. We might can live there. And ours is called Habitat 7, which we're supposed to go to, but there's complications because it has some kind of energy cloud thing, and the planet that Ryder falls down to has lightning and whatnot. So maybe that's the energy cloud that like disrupts our communications or something. So that's the initial like beginning conflict, maybe.
You could see a lot more floating rocks in the trailer, and all the way back to N7 Day 14, there were a lot of floating rocks in the concept art, which is weird at the time, but there must be, like Mass Effect straighted directly around Element 0, which can change, the mass of stuff. It looks like there's some gravity altering technology for real, like a lot of it.
And
That's
I
gonna
go
be a theme
into
in the
that a
game.
little bit. You should totally check out my trailer analysis that took a painstaking... I'm telling people in the audience, not
Okay.
you. Took a painstaking 30-plus hours to go through the whole entire thing and make it. So you should totally check it out, because I do go into that kind of gravity-defying technology and whatnot, and there's some cool stuff that you should totally check it out, because it's in there.
I kind of hope there's a playroom where you can like jump into a zero gravity and just kind of like float all over the place. That sounds fun.
So you just want like a room on like the Hyperion where you can just like go in there and be like, woo, I'm about to fly.
Woo! Or maybe there's like some gravity weird wells that you can try to jump over and it just flips you over a couple times and throws you. They're probably not going to have this, but I want it.
Like those green pipes in Mario.
Weird stuff like that. Yes.
Okay.
So videos, do you think it's worth pointing out my crazy road trip videos?
Sure.
What did you think of that personally from a YouTube
I
standpoint?
thought it was cute.
Cute. Because I'm going to be going on the road soon, and I got 3 videos up. There's one Mass Effect road trip and more looking for Mass Effect at blank. My favorite one's PSX, where I go looking for Mass Effect Andromeda at places that clearly aren't going to have the game. Although I don't know how that's gonna work this time, because I'm going to places that Mass Effect's going to be there. So I don't really know what to do for that, but I'm probably going to have a lot of fun. I like doing those videos quite a bit because they're way different than the videos I normally do, which are highly structured, highly put together, and those are just having fun.
Oh, so good news. I just hit 14,000 subscribers.
Boom!
Woo! I'm exploding.
Explode!
I think when we finally finish with everything that's happening in November, boom, December 1st. Is the Game Awards, which will have Mass Effect Andromeda gameplay.
I'm curious how I'm going to be able to cover that. I'm going to be covering that in the hotel.
You're going to be like seeing it and then running back to your hotel. And then like...
Yeah, I'm probably going to do things in whatever the heck order I feel like. I'm trying to be more entertaining at this point. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping to get something in there that'll be interesting to watch. But I think we could get into more stuff, but we probably want to wait till we have a full show, because it's just us two.
It's just us
talking
just
about that. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna leave you with that.
The crew that has been in every episode for the entire length of every episode.
Yeah, that's weird. The real crew.
The real
take
real
that,
team.
Tucker.
Yeah, the A team. What's up?
You guys have T-shirts. Do you want to deal with that now?
Okay, yeah, I guess I can, because the video will probably be out pretty soon.
It'll be out, but yeah, this one will be out on Monday. So
yeah, so it'll be out before then, I assume. So AbilityDrain and I, we were the lucky recipients of some T-shirts from BioWare that are Mass Effect Andromeda T-shirts with N7 Day 2016 on the back. And me and her both got 3. So 1 for each of us, and then 2 for each of us to give away. And we decided, hey, it might be fun to team up and give away 4, like put ours together and give those away. We have 3 large T-shirts and 1 extra large T-shirt to give away. And we decided to have a contest that we're going to host on the podcast and judge on the podcast. And we're going to do, so like Tucker did best questions, Minius did artwork. AbilityDrain and I are going to do where you tell us a Mass Effect themed joke. And you send that joke to aishirtcontest@gmail.com. I'll put it like up on the screen. And you send your joke there, and we'll give you until, I think we're thinking like December the 5th. And then we will judge it on the podcast, and each of us will pick a winner to receive their T-shirt. So when you email us, be sure to put your joke in there, then put your T-shirt size, I guess maybe preferred name, whatnot. Comments with jokes on Twitter and on YouTube videos will not be counted as a submission, so you have to email it to aishirtcontest@gmail.com.
There any restrictions location-wise?
For me, I'm only going to be shipping in America, but AbilityDrain can go anywhere in the world, she said, supposedly. So
It's very difficult to ship packages across the ocean.
yeah, especially when you're in America. I think it's a little bit easier when you're not in America.
And by America, you mean the United States, right? Or
Yes.
Canadian brethren. By the way, that is a pet peeve of people in Canada. They're like, we're all America, and that's very accurate. This is the United States here.
United States. There you go.
Yeah,
Clarification.
America.
America! So send us the jokes, and we will bring our favorites onto the show, and we'll have a good laugh and pick some people to get some t-shirts, and it'll be fun. And disclaimer, we didn't get to pick the t-shirt sizes when they sent us extras, so we apologize if the t-shirts aren't your size. We didn't really have that kind of option or heads up, so we apologize for that.
Okay, we should talk about Andromenerds t-shirts after the show.
We should definitely talk about Andromenerds
Because people are
t-shirts
actually
after the show.
contacting me directly asking for them.
People are wanting the t-shirts.
So, I think I'm going to print one out for myself and wear it down south in a couple
You should
weeks.
do that. You should do that.
That'll be
fun.
how I'm identified. I also got to have like I'm going to show up in one of my videos finally. But I'm making too big of a deal. People are
You're gonna do the full.
This
You're
is
gonna do the face
full
reveal.
First of all, I need to I have too much hair at the moment. That's gonna have to be dealt with. But yeah,
Get a
I'm trying to put
haircut.
together the Krogan, the plushy Krogan. I want to have it rest on my shoulder like a parrot.
Get Velcro.
Velcro. Yeah, I'm
can-
thinking I got to come up with some crazy rigging. And
You gotta just get some Velcro, and then you can put some on your shirt and some on the Krogan, and just put it on you, and it should. Or you could sew it to the shirt.
oh, I'm not sewing that buddy to anybody. It's got to be removable.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to play I don't want him to be damaged. There's what is it? There's a really cool picture with Grunt in a tank, the little Grunt plush in a tank.
Oh man.
Did you see the behind the scenes and how that was done?
Behind the scenes of that was literally worse than a horror movie.
He
was
murdered that
horrific.
thing.
It
Just
was
ripped out all his guts and stuff, and
I
then filled it up
cried.
with
I
metal.
straight up was dropping tears.
It was awful. I felt it.
It was the only thing that could have done to make it worse was put I don't know, Sarah McLachlan in the background, and
They could have played the end of Mass
the-
Effect 3 music that we used for our
Oh,
Space
God.
Bear video.
oh god,
I love the reaction to that Space Bear video.
they were like, guys, why'd you do this?
Why would you do that? Like that.
Because we wanted to.
Okay.
We almost did we almost put it in Sarah McLachlan, but then copyright. So
I am going to take us out with a broadcaster voice.
what's up? Do it.
That's all the nerdiness we've got for today. Join us next week as we talk about Mass Effect Andromeda. We talk about Mass Effect Andromeda on the show.
So funny. Totally just dying over here.
Screw you, man.
I can't see what you're trying to say, so I have no idea why you're laughing.
I'm laughing because it's we never talk about Mass Effect Andromeda on this show. but we're going to do it now.
What's Mass Effect?
What is this game? If you have any questions for us, Mass Effect related or otherwise, email us at andromenerds@gmail.com, and your questions might be featured in an upcoming episode. Along with our co-hosts, be sure to follow Andromenerds on Twitter. If you like this podcast and would like to see some more awesome videos, be sure to check out and subscribe to our respective channels.
A-Team out!
How about
Hammer time?
Where is everybody?
Where you at?
Why is it BioFan and Minius and that's it? What the hell? Where is everybody? I'm not actually serious
A-team.
about
Let's
that.
do A-team.
A-team.
That'll be fun. A-team.
Come get some.
Tucker will never know this happened because he doesn't listen to the podcast.
I understand. I think you should probably listen to a couple to know
Yeah,
how
I
ridiculous
feel like you
it
should because he
sounds.
forgets when he brings things up, and then we're like, Tucker, we brought that up last time. He's like, we did? And I'm like, yeah, we did.
I guess he doesn't really listen to us when we're talking to him on the show.
That is true.
So it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
All right. What do we want to talk about next week?